though. Let's check it out.
We have a lovely panel. I'm gonna have y'all introduce yourself, starting right. That doesn't mean you're not in support of your lover, but you're just taking a safeguard. Everybody has car insurance, right? You trust that you're not gonna hit a deer, you're not gonna run off the road, but we have insurance. Why not have insurance?
Yeah. It's true. When I was in law school and I was taking a family law class, and my professor said, it's more important for you to decide now how you want the outlook of your marriage to go if it fails than for the state to decide for you. Absolutely. And like Bakir said, of course you're in love, right? This is somebody that you think is the love of your life. You're hoping it's going to last forever, but statistics show that at least half of the marriages don't last forever for whatever reason. And so I am pro prenup as well, especially for celebrities, right? Somebody Absolutely. Like a Travis Hunter.
What? No. Yeah, I'm not. I don't have that kind of collection, so I won't be mixing it up with that.
He has all of this money and all of these assets, but even for the average person, I think it's important to get a prenup.
A prenup protects both parties too, right? I mean, it's not just the rich man or the rich female. I think if you look at it from a bilateral stance, it's an agreement that says, hey, if this happens, I get this, or I'm protected here. So I think there's a stigma that just one person is protected, but it actually protects both parties. If your lawyer is smart, then they're going to have clauses in there that protect you as well.
And to that point, the court also looks at that. So let's say that the prenup was unconscionable. The court will make sure it's still in favor of the other party who signed it, so that they're not left on welfare. So the whole point of divorces is to make sure that the other party is left whole.
Yeah.
So whatever they were receiving in the marriage, they should be receiving that as well after the marriage has dissolved.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I understand that, once it's, it's resolved and everything, the woman or the spouse that wasn't the breadwinner needs something, right? But just get a prenup.
Okay,
you gotta get a prenup.
Let's throw a curveball in for everybody. We have places like California where it's 50 anyway.
Yeah.
Right? It's community property. So you have a prenup, but if the state says it's community property, then how do you combat that?
What do y'all say?
Or do you go to another state and get married?
I didn't want to say it.
I know the face. I was like, okay, so you got
stay away from Cali.
Ironically, where the cost of living is one of the highest.
Yeah.
I know settle right here.
Everything.
Yeah.
But how do you think you get around that? How do you guys think you get around that?
Like building a business, right? Like I wouldn't have a holding company in Maryland. I would have it in Wyoming or Nevada because they have laws that are more favorable for business owners, right? Correct. So even with a marriage, and I know that sounds crazy, but I ain't getting married in California. We can have the party there, the reception, if you want to do it. But as far as signing the legal docs, if it doesn't benefit you, it doesn't work. So that's what I think.
Okay, I've always heard the latter, right? At the end, kind of like Shawnee O'Neal when she went to Florida. Because in Florida, there's more favorable laws than where she was with Shaq. So with that being said, then how do you think Travis Hunter should move forward?
He need a better circle.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, like where was his dad, his boys, his pastor, people that we all saw the red flags. And
of course.
Aren't they divorcing or?
It's not back yet.
Listen, he didn't need a good friend.
Yeah, hope he has, take some time to himself. Yo, big bars. What's up, my brother? Just a chill stream tonight. I'm just watching whatever, right? So nothing really planned. I'm just doing, whatnot.
She said, I think, correct me.
Oh, so you've been keeping up with Evil Eddie? Is that so? That's what he's doing. He's focusing on work right now. Because I was wondering what's up with him. I was hoping if he's okay or not.
No wrong, but I know him right. He said something along the lines of he wasn't my first choice, and I'm not attracted to him. But now he's making millions of dollars.
Well,
I would never be with somebody that would come out her mouth and basically say, "You're not attracted to me.
Right?
How you gonna marry me? Are you marrying me or the money?"
Right.
She said she wasn't attracted at first. I mean, that's real. That can.
I mean, that
you
can
can
be
true.
true.
You can.
You can fall.
You can
in
love.
love. You can grow.
You can
fall
get
in love.
yes.
No.
You fall in love.
You
with
can
it.
fall in love with a person you're not attracted to.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially
I
for women.
dated someone that had to grow on me
I
before.
think
Conversation can make you fall attracted to someone, fall in
personality.
love with someone. Not you. Oh, you look good. I want to fall. But no,
But don't
not
you
a
think it might
conversation.
be more? It might be more women that can do that more than men.
Oh,
Men are-
absolutely.
men are a lot more physical.
They are,
Yeah,
men are
absolutely.
definitely first sight.
I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Love
But,
at first sight.
and a lot of women want a high earning man, and if they can finesse one, especially one that's young.
Yeah.
He's young, impressionable. Let's call the thing a thing. Freshly in the NFL, that girl is using it for money. And I'm sitting here, I'm telling you right now, I hope you see this.
What?
Like, no. You're using it for money.
Yeah.
And it I mean,
But we don't know
I
that.
think-
We don't actually know
I think
that.
to
We
a
don't
certain
know.
extent, that's to a certain extent, you're using each other for something
For something.
in a relationship to a certain
So
extent.
the reality is that we don't.
That's the thing where I do agree that all relationships are transactional. I do believe all relationships are transactional, and it's more about, is there any love with it as well? That's the thing. I mean, do you build upon this transactional thing? Okay, well that's different.
Don't know like what their intentions were in the beginning.
Mhm.
I'm 100% sure that Travis knew about Texas and the law, Tennessee and the laws of Tennessee, and this could be a business venture.
Mhm.
Like, what if it doesn't work out? Hopefully, it does. That's why people get married, to stay married, right? But what if they intentionally got married and she takes whatever she takes, and now she's a business partner? Like, have we thought about that perspective?
So good.
it's interesting. It's interesting, but
About cares.
And I think that
I'm not changing that.
I would say I've been married and divorced, unfortunately, before, and I had property before I was married, and I got married in Maryland, and it's not a community property state, so when I divorced, what I had before the marriage was still mine. I didn't have to have a prenup for that. So I mean, if he didn't want to get a prenup, but he got his contract or something maybe beforehand and bought property before he got married, depending on what state he's in, he could still possibly be protected.
That boy
You
ain't
guys
got no
think that
problem.
he didn't get the prenup because he wanted to use that to show her how much he loved her?
Yes.
You think that's
He got the
Yes.
prenup because she finessed him to do it.
But we don't know that.
Yeah, that's just
Don't say allegedly. It's allegedly.
We don't know, like, some people that
You
you
can
can-
get your opinion fact, sir.
Oh man. I mean, honestly, it is what it is.
I mean, but we all were that age at one point in time, right?
Yeah.
That we were all that age before Instagram, before everything was so public. But at the same
For me, you know what? I think I'm slowly giving up on dating in the West. I don't know. I mean, I'm just tired of it. Okay, where women are not. It's not. This is a thing where it's not even about money. I know how it is. Okay, it's more about I'm more tired that I'm finding that women are giving less and less effort. No, I agree. She definitely used that. What, Travis Hunter? Was his name Travis Hunter? Yeah, she definitely would use. She definitely used them.
time too, he has more at risk. I would say definitely
Absolutely.
for sure. But he has to understand, like, if you make these decisions, you make the decisions.
Mhm.
However, if it turns left, just be ready for the consequences of
Sure.
what the
Exactly.
world is going to throw at you.
Yeah.
But we've all been there. Like, we can't say, I mean, I know I have. I've been in love, and whatever you say, boo, it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
But he's in a different space where it's going to trigger him worse, if it goes left.
And
So,
he's young
yeah.
enough to bounce back.
And
If
he's
it
young
doesn't
enough
work,
to
he's
bounce
22 years old.
yeah.
Okay, but
He's young.
I'll say this. You have two things going on. So this is sports, right? And the average football player's career is about maybe 3
Yeah,
years,
not long.
Yeah,
maybe.
that's it.
Yeah.
Right? Now he might be, of course, more than average.
Mhm.
But let's say he gets hurt. Let's say something happens outside of the ordinary. Then what?
Mhm.
Because now he has to find another means to make money.
Mhm.
So just bouncing back when this is his main means of making money, he's never done anything.
I
else
agree.
in the sport.
Yep.
So how does he bounce back from that?
He has to think about that regardless if he's married or not.
Right,
Anything
but
can
with
happen.
that, do you think there should be somebody there that is able to coach him? Because he had like Deion Sanders, but do you
Yeah.
think there should be like a maternal or paternal figure?
I'm sure that there are figures there. Like, people are different. Like, some people learn by mistakes, some people learn by trial and error.
Mhm.
And I'm sure that there are people in his corner that are saying what you said, bruh, like, get her to sign the paper.
I
Don't
hope
do this
so.
in Tennessee. But the reality is that he is going to do what he wants to do.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
And if it turns out the way that we hope it doesn't turn out, and it's just going to be a hard lesson.
Yeah, it is.
An expensive one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The PR in me is like, this is good publicity for him.
Oh, for
Like
sure.
good and bad controversy. Him staying relevant in the news cycles is good for his brand deals.
Yeah,
Because he's a
absolutely.
brand deal with Celsius.
Mhm.
He's the top person.
Absolutely.
So he does have multiple sources of income. He does have people on his side, but we're not paying attention to that. We're focused on the gossip.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
So he's staying relevant in attention cycles. I think that he's smarter than we think he is.
For
I-
sure.
I love that.
He's far smarter. He's far smarter.
What you said?
No, I'm saying he's far smarter than we give him credit. I mean, he
Absolutely.
wouldn't be where he is right now if he wasn't.
If he wasn't.
locked in. I mean, he's locked in. Trust me. I mean, we looking at him like, he's funny looking, and he got this chick that. That's what a lot of people say. Like, Shorty is like this. She's a dime. Well, she isn't. She's just different from what he's used to. But really not, because that's what he went to school with his entire career. And plus,
Yeah.
he was like the best basketball player, the best football player. Attracts. This dude is like that. He's very locked in, man. I'm with you. I think he does have people that know that this looks good for the long run, but it is an expensive lesson if he's
Definitely.
wrong.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'll say this: most millionaires are married, right? Most
True.
billionaires are married.
Married.
Right. So I mean, even though as much as I feel like it's a finesse going on, for the obvious, for what the comments are saying, but
And now it's kind of dangerous because not in the physical sense, but like me being catfish. Hope they don't. Oh yeah, I mean that's the thing where, to be honest, I wouldn't go to Thailand. That's not really. But I mean, hopefully you have good judging skills. Hopefully you got good judging skills. No, he I mean, this is the thing. Time will tell. Time will tell if he's wrong or right.
I do think it is probably a better move to get married than to be single. Especially them long games you saw. I mean, you get in the suits, but I guess it is different when it's your significant other. So I will say that. But I do think it's finesse.
I just had a thought, like, this man has perfected silencing the noise. And that's something that we have to do in life.
Yes.
I look at all the comments, like, look at what everybody is saying about him. Majority of the people are saying the same thing. But one thing that I give him credit for is silencing the noise. And that's powerful.
Mad respect.
All right. Well, I want to switch to another topic here. So everyone knows that, because we're in the DMV area, everyone knows that Donald Trump has done the DC takeover.
Yes.
So I want to get your thoughts on the DC takeover and the crime that's happening in DC. Okay, I don't know everybody's political stance. Well, I know one, but I don't know everybody's political stance. So I want to get everybody's thoughts. I want to go around, get everybody's thoughts on their true feelings of what they think, whether opinion, fact. I just want to get what you think. That's why I said I know one. I know one. But I truly want to get your thoughts. So since Van was shaking his head, let's go on this.
I don't really want to talk about it. So I'm from the area, southeastern area, where he's pressing these youngers out. I would say this: if the parents have done their jobs in the front end, we wouldn't be dealing with this in the back end. Now, he's extremely aggressive in how he's moving forward. I don't like the optics of it. I don't like the fact that a lot of these youngins are going to be harassed to and from school, because it's going to happen. Yeah. I don't like how traffic stops are just any damn where. They're just trying to find something. I mean, if you look for something, you're going to find something. You know what I mean? I'm driving, not breaking make no noise or nothing. But if you pull me over, you might find some weed in the truck. I mean, I'm not snitching on myself, but I'm just saying. Absolutely. And I'd be in trouble. So I'm just saying, he's just pressing the issue. And I think he's doing it for all the wrong reasons. He's claiming that he's doing it so that America's capital could look beautiful when people come to visit and everybody that live here feels safe. I think that's complete bullshit. I think he's doing it because he wants to make his mark. He wants to make his mark. Everything about DC represents what's, and I mean well when I say this, but everything about DC represents what's bad with this country. I mean, if you think about it, the gentleman that had the most slaves out of everybody, that's what our city is named after.
Yeah.
Washington, DC, George Washington.
Absolutely.
So and it's a no-fly zone. It's protected. All the brownstones cost millions of dollars, and they want to protect those people, and they don't really want to understand the individuals who are from the area and got to deal with this on a day-to-day basis. Now, on the flip side, I voted for Trump. I voted for him because Democrats are retarded, in my opinion, and I know I'm gonna piss some people off. That's understandable. No, I gotta say it. And ladies, don't stab me. I know we started off on a good track. But I'm just saying, they let it go back a little too far. And what happens is an overcorrection is bound to happen if you continue to let the ball roll down the hill. And that's what we're dealing with right now.
This is the thing where I said this, okay? This is that thing where a lot of Asian, transformers, as you say, are very they can look very feminine. So that is a hard thing, okay? Which is kind of sad in a way, where a lot of Asian men can look feminine, which is, I don't know. I just think it's weird, but yeah, that's why you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful.
Mhm. Absolutely. See, some-
Okay, ladies.
You know, I mean, I think he hit the nail on the head. I think control is good, right? I mean, I think we need to have control in place. You know, I moved here from Tampa to the DC area, and I loved it. Chocolate City became a big thing for me. I'm originally from South Carolina, so I felt like I made it to the big city. I had no idea about the amount of crime because we just didn't see it on the news and stuff. But being here, you actually saw it, you hear it, you felt it, and I'm personally tired of seeing us kill each other. I know other people kill us too,
Yes.
but it is disheartening seeing it so much, and then we don't.
Yeah, but no one kills you more than black people, right? No one kills black people more than black people. And this is a thing where I saw this video recently of a woman from Memphis saying how, you know, she feels so safe now in her backyard. She feels so safe, you know, sitting in her porch. She feels so safe and seeing kids walk around, play around in the neighborhood. So whatever reason you think Trump is doing it, well, who cares? Who cares if he's doing it for, let's say, he's making money off of it? Who gives a shit? Right? We just care about the result. It's like sometimes we want to like we care so much about the kind of ulterior motives, but we also don't recognize that. So what? A lot of things people have ulterior motives. Just like here's the thing where sometimes, I'm not saying all the time, but when people do charity work, okay, well, they have some ulterior motive. Maybe they get tax write-off. Maybe even the ulterior motive of them finding joy from it. That's kind of, you know, an ulterior motive as well.
Having leaders in our community or effective ones that are able to put their foot down and make that change. Do I agree with the way he's doing it? No, but I do believe that we have to have some control in order to be better. I mean, I think I saw when I was living here, the kids at Six Flags, they just stumping on people's cars.
Right.
We work hard for our stuff, and you take your kids to a park,
Yeah.
and they're just, and then on U Street, they running rampant, just doing the most.
Yeah.
So I would be a bad adult if I said, "Oh, just let them be." No.
Yeah.
Somebody has to put their hands around it. I love the mayor in DC. I think she's done some great things, but I don't think she's fully competent enough to get that job done. And she needed some help. And hopefully, this is the solution to it.
Well, I'll resort to that because here's the thing: you can like somebody, you can not like somebody, but what are the policies?
Yeah.
The policies in DC are horrible to the point that it affects.
That's true.
Forget about the people that don't vote for you.
Right.
It affects the people that did vote for you.
Mm.
So you have plenty of liberals in DC, right? Well, who are the ones getting carjacked? Okay, you claim to care about the minority groups in DC. Who are the ones dealing with the crime? Right? And so you complain about over-policing. How are you over-policing with an understaffed police force? And then who do you actually send the police force to actually protect? So are you under-policing or are you over-policing? Right? And then you have to also think about all the rest of the aspects, right? Because you have policies that say one thing and then say another. You have the judges saying, okay, well, they're kids, but they're doing adult crimes. So you release them back out into the general public to commit the same crimes. Like 2 years ago, the gentleman, the Pakistani gentleman that lost his life when those two girls.
Exactly. The left is a crazy ass week. I've said this before where I don't believe, it's not like I believe that, you know, Republicans are the best thing ever. But when I always grew up with politics, I've always viewed it as voting for the lesser of two evils, right? Which is a crazy thing, but that's just how it is, right? You're voting for the lesser of two evils. Which one is like not as evil? That's politics for you.
Carjacked.
Mm-hmm.
It flipped over in front of, I think it was, I want to say, down there on Georgia Avenue. The car flipped over, right? And so everybody's like, oh, they're just children. They're just children. No, they're not. No, they're not. Like at a certain point, if nobody is going to correct, somebody has to correct. And I kind of,
and that's the thing where so many people don't understand. What do these children turn into? Okay, if they are dangerous criminal as children, you think they are now productive citizens as adults? No, they'll become even worse criminals as adults.
kind of agree with it is an overcorrection.
Yeah.
But once your parents, because everything starts in the home.
Absolutely.
It's not liberal, it's not conservative. Everything starts in your house. So if you don't catch your kids, the system will catch your kids.
Absolutely, but I do want to say this, and I'm speaking with the children. Your frontal cortex doesn't develop until what age? 25.
25.
So we can't just now. I'm not agreeing with children doing crimes, but I just want that to be understood. You know, we all.
I do want to say this, okay? The whole thing where your frontal cortex is not developed shit is basically by the time you're 18 or so, you are almost fully developed already. You're almost fully developed. You can reason, right? You can understand shit. Now, it's not fully developed, but again, it's not by much. Okay, there's not much of a difference. Hey, Red Door, my sister, thank you for stopping by.
Made mistakes when we were younger. Now, taking a life, you can never bring a life back. Not condoning it. You know, I'm from the community. Not condoning it at all, but we still have to understand that they're children. But I want to make this valid point because we're noticing that they're over policing what community? Black and brown.
Yeah.
Right? And that's specific to which crimes? Even though it's all crimes, right? Violence, right? But let me just state this fact, and I'm gonna look at the camera when I say this. 50%, 51, right now, 51% of all the sexual assault crimes are done by what race? Caucasian males. I don't see any over policing in these suburban neighborhoods.
Yeah,
Why is that? Let's attack all crime. Yeah, we're talking about DC. It's plenty. I got that. So if you have the app, why are we not over policing those communities?
So then you need to ask your liberal leaders because you're voting for them. Right?
No,
it's a policy.
We gotta
No, you
ask
have to
Trump
ask the
Types of crimes
people.
don't happen in the
No,
street
no,
like that.
no,
That's not closed
that
door.
has this bill that's only doing it to black and brown communities.
That's not a bit.
But here's the thing where I don't disagree that, the stats on like who do more sexual crimes. But here's the thing. Sexual crimes is not rampant out in the streets. Okay. Violence is carjacking, mugging, shootings. That's out in the streets. This is the problem where you push the blame, right? You want to push the goalposts. Stop it with that shit. All right.
He passes it. Executive order. He passed the executive order that is not being fair. They're doing it to everybody, then it's fair.
Okay.
Let's attack sexual assault because nobody wants to love one harm.
No,
that's hard. No. That's traumatizing.
You're making a
only
false
doing
analogy.
it in black and brown communities. Favoritism.
Okay, so
Am I right or wrong?
you're wrong. So
Let me know.
I'm not going to tell you wrong because the thing about it, you're making false comparisons, right? So whether the president is Democrat or Republican, okay, the city leaders make your policy. So if you're tired of over policing, that would be your city leaders, okay? So way before this just happened, what, a week ago? We're on week number 2. Yeah. So what was happening all the way up into 2 weeks ago? Who were your leaders? Did you go to them and say, hey, you're over policing? Did you go to them and say, I don't like these policies? Did you go to them and say, your white liberals are up here doing all these whatever crimes, sex crimes, as far as what you're saying, right?
I do feel like somebody should.
Yeah, but they don't.
I do
But they
feel
don't.
like somebody should.
But they don't.
They don't. Policing in those communities.
But you are missing the point. There are no Republicans in Washington.
I love my community. Save me time. The stats. Those are the stats right there. Okay.
In DC, this is a straight liberal city. So the people that make the policies that you love or hate are liberals. So whether you love it or you hate it, it has nothing to do with a Republican because this is a liberal city.
And I understand your point as well, but I think to her point, it's tough to police sex crimes, right? Because that happens
behind closed
Epstein
doors.
House on a private island.
Exactly.
Right? But when you're getting robbed, when you're walking to the store, when you're getting carjacked, when
exactly
you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, and all of this stuff is happening consistently, it's not like it's a one-off. I mean, we have a systemic issue in Black and brown communities. It is true.
And this is the problem with the hosts. Again, you're moving the goalposts. This is a problem where how is that affecting your community, right? Violence is affecting your community. Why do you care about the white community when it comes to that stuff? Why do you want the white community to improve, Do you want the white community to succeed? Why don't you care about your own community, right? The prosperity of your own community. It's like, oh, what about the white people? What the fuck about them? Why do you care? Why are you caring about the white community? Right? It's just because you want them to get arrested? Okay, fine. If all of the sexual crime deviants, right, white people, that the 51% of white people that do it get arrested, how's that help your community? How's that help your community? Now you're going to say, oh, you know, this systemic racism, reparate. Now you're saying things. Why the fuck are you saying that? Because you didn't care about helping your community before. You wanted to move the goalposts and say to focus on the white community. Right? That's the stupidity of it. And that's what I see so many times. Do you even care about your community or not? Because same thing with black on black crime, right? Same thing with black on black crime. When people say, oh, a big thing that's hurting the black community is black on black crime. Oh, why does no one talk about white on white crime? Why the fuck do you want them to talk about that? Do you care what's going on with the white community, or do you care what's going on with your own community? That's the insanity of it. It's like, what are you trying to talk about? On one hand, you talk about systemic racism, you want reparations, you want this, you want that, right? You say the white man is putting you down. Okay. And then, Jay. What? Okay, so I didn't really get to finish it because we, we went a bit off tangent. So I might as well just finish it, right? Try to finish this video.
Reprimanded for it. Then a lieutenant was also reprimanded for it, and that's the one you're seeing now, right? But this has happened over and over again. And what they're doing is they're changing the way you classify a crime. So just to give an example, if I show up on a scene and it's a burglary, but I didn't see the burglary as the police officer, now I change it to classify it as something else. So now that doesn't go in the books as a burglary.
As a burglary.
Right.
Okay.
Because you wanna give the idea to your constituents, and this can go for any place, right? But in DC, that's what they're doing. And it has been proven by more than one person on the police force because they didn't want to do it. They were being told by top brass to do it. They whistle blow, and now they're in trouble. So what I want to get at is, how do you feel about knowing your fellow Black police officers are saying that this is happening, which is causing a overcorrection on the Trump part, I guess, from what some of you are saying, and then it's also causing the police not to be able to police correctly. Because they're not giving them the correct stats to police. Right.
I want to jump in. Right now, it's under investigation with the DOJ to see what's going on, because the DOJ did release a report earlier this year saying that the stats were lower in DC and that there's no need for the National Guard to be there and for this over-policing that's taking place. So there was someone who was removed back in May, but the DOJ is still investigating. So I don't want us to state as fact that that is what's happening all the time, or that's what's happening right now.
And then in 2021.
But there was something that did happen in 2020, but I'm saying it doesn't mean that that is continuing to happen and that we shouldn't take that as fact. Well, even though something happened in the past doesn't mean that it's still happening. Well, and so we should wait until that investigation comes out.
The reason why I'm more privy to it is because I actually have that in my household. So and at the highest tier of the police department. So I actually know and see the stats. I actually see some of the stuff before it even comes out to the news.
I hear you.
So with that being said, I actually see the actual crime stats. And I also hear from other police officers, this is what they're doing.
Oh, by Google, okay? I mean, I'm just going to read it by Google. It's not accurate to say that Washington, D.C. has a low crime rate. After a significant spike in 2023, the city has seen a notable decreases in some crime categories in 2024 and in 2025, but its crime rates are still higher than the pre-pandemic baseline and remains above average for major U.S. cities. So, again, just because the line is higher now, it went higher, right? It spiked up. And it went down, but doesn't mean that it went down past, before it spiked up.
I hear
because it puts the police officers in jeopardy.
But I still think it's important to wait for that investigation. I see that
there's two.
Yeah, no, but I see you get it firsthand. We're not seeing that. The public's not seeing that, so I can't verify that. But yeah, it's important to wait for that.
What are they reclassifying it as?
So, okay, so like the example I just gave about the burglaries, what they would do is classify it as a lesser charge. So that way, because when you have certain things go on, like homicides, like carjackings, things like that, you can classify those as different ways. You can classify something, if it's not up to a certain amount, you can change the policy and say, okay, well, maybe under $100. Like in California, they changed it to 1,000 and under.
Right, it's a misdemeanor.
But now they're stealing everything.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
and nobody can go to jail because it's a misdemeanor.
It's a misdemeanor.
So they know it, and they go into all the nice, fine stores and they steal. And you're wondering why you're having a spike in crime. It's the policies.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's another place where there are no Republicans, right? And so it's hurting their constituents. Forget conservatives. It's hurting those Democrats there because those are their stores. Those are not conservative stores. Those are Democrat stores. Those are liberal people stores. So how do you combat that? That's what I'm asking. How do you combat that narrative when it's nobody else? It's the people you vote for.
Right.
Well, I'm not from DC. I'm from Prince George's County, so that's for next door. So I don't have firsthand experience of what's going on in the city because it may be different from Prince George's County, right? My issue with the whole Trump takeover is what is his actual intent? Like, what are you doing this for? Like, are you really trying to do this because you're trying to protect or trying to change DC to make it a better place? Like, what is your intent? Is it a photo op? Are you just trying to say that you are in?
That's not a thing where who cares? This is the problem with a lot of Democrats or left or let's say even black people. You care about the ulterior motive. I'm not saying that it's not, you shouldn't, but that shouldn't be your main concern. You should care of the results. So if the results are lower crime rate in a city that has a high crime rate or a state that has a high crime rate, that's what you should care about. Now, if you think that he did it because a photo op, who gives a shit? Right? Even if you think that he did it because he wanted to make millions. So fucking what? You gotta think about it. If a corporation, and here's the thing where everyone does something for a reason, right? Or even if it's selfish reasons. You think that, let's say an Amazon company brings a factory or, Amazon does it sometimes where they bring a factory or a, one of their businesses into a city. Guess what? They're doing it because they want money. And usually they do it. They only go to a city that gives them a tax cut. Okay? Give them special privileges. That's shady. That's terrible, right? But here's the thing. One Amazon warehouse can employ thousands upon thousands of people. Literally help out people. Help out the city. Although, yes, on one hand, it's dirty in a way where, they're vying for tax cuts, vying for some kind of benefit that the city gives them. But on the other hand, it's providing work for thousands upon thousands of people. Yeah. You got to stop the, oh my God, these big corporations only want to make money. These big corporations they're greedy. So fucking what? So what? This is the thing where one of the things why I've said this before. People always complain, Starbucks is, this, Walmart is that, the big corporations this. But here's the thing. This is what keeps people always at the bottom. What keep people always at the bottom. Where you gotta put that shit aside. Because here's the thing where I invest in stocks. So I don't give a shit. I don't care if Starbucks is whatever. For whatever reason you hate on Starbucks. I don't care. I want them to make money. Because if they're making money, I'm going to make money off of them. And this is the problem where we have people who don't see it in the logical capitalistic point of view. They see it in a moral light, which I kind of understand. But because they see in that moral light, and then on the flip side, they complain about, the rich only care about the rich. They want to keep the poor people poor. No, you are keeping yourself poor. In 2025, you are keeping yourself poor. I just told you, You complain about Starbucks? How about this? You complain about Apple, want to make money? You want to complain about people, the rich want to be rich? How about you make money off of the rich? How about stop only thinking about, oh, the rich only want to make money off of the poor? Really? You could do the same thing. So let's say an Apple worker, right? They're making money off of their hard work. Okay, well, take your paycheck, buy Apple stock, buy Apple stock. So if Apple is doing well, you are now making money off of Apple, right there. So you literally, what can you complain about? They're making money off of you. Well, you're making money off of them. But people don't think like this. And then they keep on this because here's the thing. They're stuck in the victimhood mentality. They need an abuser, right? They need a villain. Trump is evil. He's doing it for some nefarious reason. Who gives a shit? Who cares? Take advantage of what you can take advantage of. So many people care about things they don't have control over. Do you have control over Trump, doing a photo op or not? No. But if you can take advantage of it, i.e., improve your city from his selfish desire, so fucking what? Right? I mean, like, this is the thing where we live in a world where you are not going to survive thinking how you're thinking. Okay? The white man is terrible. Is he doing it for some nefarious reason that he wants to, I don't know, care for the white community? If the result is that you benefit, I don't give a shit if they benefit. Okay? If I buy Apple stock and the result that, Apple benefits, I don't care because I'm benefiting it from that as well.
Control, because at the end of the day, it's crime everywhere.
Exactly.
Why specifically DC did you select to put your paws on in order to make it a better place that you so-called say that you want it to be? And that's my issue. My other issue is that with the
that's the thing where there's crime everywhere. Okay. So what? The man isn't God, right? There's not enough troops. Right? To spread around the U.S. There is not. There's not enough truth to put in every city that has a high crime rate. Right? At best, what he's doing is doing major cities. And let me see something. I mean, like, he's picking some of the most, he's picking some of the most high crime rate cities. I think right now he's doing Memphis when I'm recording this. He's done Memphis, there's Baltimore. DC is not as high as this, so I don't know. But I'm assuming he's doing DC because that's the capital. So
the parents have to step up.
That part.
And I feel like if the laws change
Facts.
where if your child get in trouble, no, they don't go to jail, you go to jail.
Facts.
Things would change. I think they need an hour, every hour on TV. They need something to say. Do you know where your child is? just for them to remember that they actually have.
And I can agree with that.
I feel like the parents, but I feel like it is also, I don't have kids, but I also feel like it's our fault too. Because at the end of the day, baby boomers raised millennials. Millennials are raising who we have now. And it has dropped down from generation to generation of the lack of respect.
In the schools, chaos in the streets, chaos everywhere, because ain't nobody getting their ass beat. And I think that's why the thing is.
Somebody got
their ass beat. I'm sorry.
I wanted to say something. I know we probably have to wrap up, but I wanted to say something about your first point. You were saying why DC? Why is Trump doing this to DC? Because there's crime everywhere. There's crime in red states. There's crime in blue states. It's everywhere. But the fact is, when it comes to legalese, like he's able to do it here in DC, right? He has that ability to do it. His next state, his next city, he wants it to be in Chicago. But Chicago, it would be unlawful for him to just deploy troops there. And the mayor has already stated, our crime rate is down. Why are you coming here? It's just like Baltimore.
Let me see. So this is kind of a false point of view, right? So here's Google, what Google says. No, Chicago does not have a low crime rate, especially when compared to other large cities in the U.S. While crime rates have been decreasing in recent years, the city still has one of the highest homicide rates in the country. The highest, one of the highest, and the highest number of homicides for major cities. However, violent crime rates have seen significant decreases, with a 21% drop in overall violent crime and 32% drop in homicide crime year to date as of August 2025. Even though crime rate is dropping, it's still one of the most crime-ridden cities in the U.S. So I'm saying that, like, they're doing great, but they could do better, right? So maybe Trump is jumping in to do better. I don't know. I mean, that could be a thing. Chicago has reported the most homicides of all U.S. cities for many years and has the highest murder rate among cities for over 1 million people, as reported by the White House. In 2024, its murder rate was 3 times higher than Los Angeles and nearly 5 times higher than New York City, based on FBI data. Let's talk. Despite the high overall rate, there has been a notable decline in violent crime. As of August 25, overall violent crimes, okay, I already said that. But, I mean, they're improving. Seems like they're improving, which is great. But still, it's still high.
I live in Baltimore. Crime rate is down. But we keep seeing what's happening in DC. And now they've authorized the ability for...
Yeah, she said Baltimore. Well, Baltimore still... No, Baltimore does not have a low crime rate, as it is frequently ranked among U.S. cities with the highest rates of violent crimes. However, recent data shows that crime rates, particularly violent crimes, have been declining significantly in the city, with notable decreases in homicide. Yes, it's decreasing, but again, sometimes I think a lot of people are misconstruing things, right? So let's say numerically, if your crime rate was 0, right? And then starts to go to 100. So you see that? And then that 100 went to, let's say, 80, right? 20, you see that? Oh, let's say even went to 70, right? Seems like a significant drop, but it was 0 to 70, right? So 0 to 70 is still high, right? 70 is closer to 100 than it is to 0. So it's kind of like thinking, yes, it's decreasing, but probably not enough.
The National Guard to be able to carry out the things that law enforcement...
Because you got to think about why is he choosing this city? There's crime everywhere, correct? But again, these are major cities that have still, even the crime is decreasing, they have one of the highest. They are on the list of the highest crimes, okay? The highest crime rates. So yes, you could go, but again, resources are thin. You cannot be in every city. You cannot be in every town, every place that has crime. You can't. So you will still hit major cities that is on the top of the crime list.
can carry out, they can also carry around weapons, but that's also illegal. Trump's allowing that.
Absolutely.
So,
So, you're going New York next.
we're about to wrap this up, but just to speak to your point, there is a thing in Chicago by Black individuals, okay, and by Black groups called Chicago Turns Red, okay, or Chicago Flips Red. And these are Black men and women, all right? And they are looking at the fact that Chicago is not only in debt, okay, by billions at this point. Chicago doesn't even own its own streets. They sold it to people in the UAE. So the residents don't even get that money. And then you look at the high crime, okay, which are in what areas? The minority areas. And then last but not least, you look at the liberal policies that have allowed money that Chicago taxpayers pay to go to illegal migrants. Okay, so when you wrap all that together, the people on the ground, I don't live in Chicago, but I know people from Chicago Flips Red that were Democrats or that were nothing. Some of them never voted. But this crisis caused them to actually do that. And that's where you got it from. You didn't get it from white individuals, not even the white liberals, because we know how white liberals feel. So you didn't get it from them. You got it from Black people who decided that they were, if you watch Mayor Brandon Johnson's town halls, those are Black people and Black constituents standing up to that mayor. Not anybody else, not Republicans, not white people, Black individuals.
I wish we had more time because I think it's important. One thing we have not talked about, we keep talking about how there's crime in Black and brown communities, but we don't get to talk about the underlying causes of that crime.
Yeah.
Like, these are decades, centuries old reasons why we have crime in these communities, and we need to attack those. We have to create the resources, just like Brandon Scott did in Baltimore, where I live right now. There are ways in which we can combat crime.
I agree.
That isn't over-policing, but we're also addressing the root causes to make sure that we don't see this crime repeating over and over again.
I can agree.
Let me say that. They don't want that to happen.
I was getting ready to
What's
say that.
more important?
The money is not being spent there, yeah.
condos. Let's call it that. And that's been the viewpoint of America.
Yeah.
But the
It's
money is
business
not
at
being,
the
the
end
money
of
is
the
not
day.
being spent there.
Absolutely.
Society.
That's the
I was-
this priority is making sure the rich stay rich
That's right.
and wealthy, right? And the people that are struggling,
Yeah.
they can just, they're just there. And this is the thought process, and this is why crime will
Just play
continue.
nice.
So I agree with you. Let's address the root cause and then work our way back, right?
You said, or adding on to my point.
The root cause is lack of families. The root cause is lack of families. I think that's the root cause. There's no families.
So, okay, so to address what's going on at a larger level, because I don't know,
And they're failing themselves.
I wanna address the root. I mean, dietary. Let's talk about the diet. All of this sugar. It's been proven that all of this sugar, all this processed food can make a child's attention span lower. So then they're not taking the information that they're learning in school properly. They're misdiagnosing us constantly to get more funding. Let's call the thing a thing. I think you got to talk about the diet. I mean, when the last time they had a conversation about the cafeteria food, what they're giving our children, right? But you want to diagnose them with ADHD, right? And the knowledge that's in these books, right? I mean, we got to address the root. Point blank period.
Now, we didn't have the best food either when we was growing up.
That's the thing where you address the root. It is families, lack of families. All right, that is the root.
Up in the school, leave it down.
Spam been hitting
Yeah,
though.
we ain't trying to- Now, I'm
The
gonna
space
pizza,
is
never
spam.
gonna stop.
Yeah.
I mean, again, as an auntie,
Mhm.
and I'm just looking out from the outside looking in, I feel like that we have failed them. I feel like that we have failed them as caring, as being considerate of people of kids' feelings. I feel like that being the role model that they look up to, we failed with that. But then again, when you're saying with the policies and things like that, how now the policies have failed the parents, and now the parents has failed the kids. So it's just a revolving door. So in my opinion, I feel like the parents, if I had to pick and choose.
It's funny. I had a conversation with my cousin, who I love to death, and her boys are great. But she's softer on her younger one. And he said something, we were at family reunion once, and he said something. I looked at her like, you're not going to handle that? So I had to deal with it. And she was like, DJ, I just don't want them to be raised how we were raised and have to see the things that we saw. So it's sort of a pacification. It's like, we had a rough upbringing, so they do everything in their power to make sure that their kids, or even if it's protecting them from falling, I'm like, let him fall. He's going to be all right. He's going to get up. He's going to dust himself off. It's a different... And I understand it, especially from a mother's viewpoint. Like, we didn't have a lot of fathers in the house, so I'm literally raised by women, right? So strong women, but not having that and them having to do everything, I think is another piece of it too that we don't talk about enough too. The men in the house and the men being in the lives of these kids, I think that's critical. And I know that's systemic too, because we can go way back down that rabbit hole, but I think that's a big piece of it. The policies that were passed, but also I'm a faithful guy. I think that these kids don't have a foundation of faith. They don't have a belief in a higher power so that they understand fully the repercussions of their consequences. I feared God at a young age. I didn't want to cuss. I didn't want to do anything because my grandparents instilled that, okay, brother, you got to answer to him. These kids, a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them don't have that fear of their parents or fear of God, and they don't fear the police. They don't fear anything. So they run around without that guidance, that fear, and they lack ambition too. Because to your point, I think we sort of failed them there.
I always said this, right? So many kids lack respect and fear. Fear is important. Fear helps you know your boundaries, right? Know your limits. Fear is very important. Respect is also important, so you don't overstep said boundaries.
Too. I mean, we have some good people to look at as role models, but most of them are sexy red. Most of them are influencers on social media that's not influencing. They're just promoting or pushing certain agendas. And the people that are really righteous and trying to do the right thing are seen as corny or whack or whatever other words that my niece told me I shouldn't use. But I think that's a big piece of the problem too.
Yeah.
You were going to say
I was
something?
going, like, how do you change the narrative? How do we change who is a role model or somebody to look up to? Because I mean, all they see is, Sexy Red is making, to your point, Sexy Red is making millions.
Right.
Yeah, but that starts
Selling
in, that starts in the home.
That was the last hit song, Hoochie Coochie.
So
how do we change the narrative? Because I mean,
taking a break from Hoochie Coochie, I believe that both the parents and the youth have failed each other. Like, for example, in our day, it was understood that when we went in public, we represented our house.
Yeah.
So there was just some things we wouldn't do, things we wouldn't say because it would get back home. And then we would have to deal with the consequences. So I think what has...
He said, back in the day, we represented our house, i.e. we represent our community. I believe current Black community, they do not care about their public image. They do not care if they represent their community. They don't. And I believe that's a detriment. Okay. I think they've lost it past maybe our parents' days a bit. It starts, dissipating, right? With every generation.
To happen is the community has to reel it in and get back to the fact that when you're out there, you represent me. And we have to instill in them that whatever they're doing is for a legacy. Like, for example, my name is Albert. It's an old name, 5 generations back. Like my grandfather, he told me when I was a kid, like, you're my namesake. So everything I do, everywhere I go, I do it in remembrance of my grandfather. And that's something that the youth may be missing, that guidance, that direction. Like everything that you're doing now is like, it's going to either, I'm losing my train of thought. Somebody come in because
I got you. So I think you're saying that they need to be rooted in family and legacy.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that conversation is missing these days.
Yeah.
With the elders being so self-focused, trying to re-socialize into middle-class families or lifestyles from working class values.
Yeah. And we can't, like, yes, there is a percentage of youth that are lost. There's just no other way to put it. But in addition to that, there are still youth that are doing amazing things.
Absolutely.
Like, they're youth that, like, this guy's son has a master's in engineering and he's not even 30.
Wow.
So they're youth that are doing, like, incredible things. We have to highlight those things. Like, whatever we draw attention to, that's what's going to grow.
I just want to say one thing. To God be the glory. I think we need to just realize that this is a natural progression. It's an old adage that says tough times make us stronger, and stronger people make better times, and better times make weaker people, and weaker people make tougher times, and then tougher times make stronger people again, and it make good times. We're doing something. We're in a position right now where these YNs remind me of when I was 13, 14, 15 years old.
It's repeating itself.
But it's just repeating itself. So here's what happens. This country, they would tighten their power belt and cause us to actually get back to parenting our children again. Telling them that when you go to school, this is what you do. You go straight to where you need to go. You come straight back home. It's too many police out here. They're going to hem you up. They don't like you. You don't look like them. You can give them all that stuff that I don't really believe, to be honest with you. I think racism is an issue, but even that is smaller than we paint it up to be bigger than it really is, because and that right there just removes all accountability from us. And if we continue to remove accountability, of course we're going to have some trash ass parents. One other thing, we're selfish as fuck. And I say that because we will live in a mansion. We will have bags all in our all types of luxury bags and pieces, arm pieces, neck pieces, all that.
Nothing.
And don't. But here's the thing, though: if we lived a little a smaller, more, I don't know,
Conservative.
modest life, we can help way more people, especially with how good we're doing.
Yeah.
Because like this gentleman just now pointed out, we're doing way better than we're pointing out. We decide to focus on the bad shit, but we're actually killing it, man. Our youngins are getting busy. They're smarter than we've ever been.
Absolutely.
Like if you look at your own children, your nieces and nephews, you can't compare to them mentally. Like they got the internet their entire lives.
Oh, their whole life.
Their entire life. We didn't have that when we were younger. We had to go to the library like they were speaking about earlier. So I'm just saying, calm down, pray for these youngins. Like instill God back into your families, even if you're not religious. Instill something that will have some principles for them to follow, and you can hold them accountable. But if you're not doing that, we're gonna continue to go through this progression.
I will, just to add one thing, I will say that some, I guess, millennials, they don't want to grow up either. They want to, they still want to act like they're still young, and then they're their children's friends. So how can they?
Are you talking about me?
Yeah. Didn't want to say it.
Because most of them grew up together. Like grandmothers are 35 now.
Exactly.
You know, it's like most of them grew up together.
Exactly. And then it takes a village. You know, sometimes we don't really have that. Now I can't tell a child that's not mine. I see that they're doing wrong, but they'll say, "Don't talk to my child. That's my child. Don't you tell my child."
And everybody
back in the day,
just for showing
anybody
up.
could come and discipline a child. You know?
Part of the problem.
But that's where I think the policies from whatever.
Know your policy. Know who your district owner is, like whatever community you're in. I compromised my future. I could have been in the Googles and the tech and all of that, but I wanted to make sure that I was present in my family.
And that's what it takes for you to be invested and to be involved. But we're going to have to wrap this up. Thank you so much, Mika. How's everyone feeling after the hot topics?
Good.
That was good.
That was good. Look, we're going into some rapid fire questions.
Let's go.
All right.
You ready? We had the policy, we had the political conversation. Now it's time to have some fun.
All right.
Right? Just answer these questions right off the top of your head. Don't think about it. Right? Just let it happen.
You got a room full of logical people.
Listen. First question. What is a red flag in somebody's kitchen? Now, before you go, I don't like eating at people's. I don't like eating at everybody.
I'm gonna try to skip it a little bit.
You had enough to wipe underneath of the toilet seat or behind the toilet seat. You probably got a clean house.
So you're inspecting people's toilets when you go into their house?
I've done it. I'm sorry.
Well, I would say mine
if I haven't came back, that's why.
Sponges.
Yes.
I despise sponges because
they hold.
Oh, you gotta praise God for the food.
Yes.
That's true.
Gotta pray over it.
Next one. We're going on to the next one.
Okay.
And this is going to be interesting, right? Is sex a relationship milestone or is it now transactional?
With who?
Just let I think right now, I think sex is definitely transactional. You know, and that's just my opinion. Most women, they want to date and then it's like the date for sex. That's like the mindset I've been getting from dating in my generation. Dating in my generation. This is like it's almost like an unsaid rule. Like, okay, you got to take me out, then you get the cheeks. So that's transactional to me. And I look, but this has been my experience overall. I definitely think it's transactional.
I'm not qualified to answer the question. I'm married for 10 years, so I'm out the game.
Okay, so do you think it's transactional or?
No, I mean, no, not for me. Well, I don't know. She got a couple Louis bags.
And a ring.
I was just kidding.
And a ring.
No, I mean, I think from a dating scene, and I haven't dated for a while, I've been married for a long time, though. But I see what you're saying. Yeah, like you go on dates, right? And I guess, I mean, for some women, yeah, they're like, okay, you take me on a date. That justifies me doing this. I don't think all women, but I would say sex is a mess now. Everybody's just screwing around. I don't know if it's an app thing. I mean, you can go buy it. You can, I don't know. It's on TikTok Shop. I don't know, but it's very transactional.
Absolutely.
Your nieces would not approve.
Nuts.
Absolutely.
I mean, I think you just look at it as how much you want to invest in this connection. It's not. I think you look at it as transactional because we want to be taken out first. But like, why would I just want to
do it?
Give my body to you just for nothing.
But see, it's not even my thought process.
Each other exchanging our
I know what he's gonna say. But
but
why would he want to give his money that he worked for?
It's a date.
It's a date.
It's money. Dates cost money.
It's not even a guarantee that you're even going to even come on the
But what I'm telling you, we're not going to act like in the music that
well, City Girls is just
music.
You've been hurt.
They want to swipe. Women want to swipe.
Seriously, could you not? Could women not actually just like, have a conversation and not go for like you've been hurt or some kind of ad hominem? It's like, how about actually debate the conversation? How about actually have a point of view instead of just like, oh, you've been hurt? Really?
those visas.
It's the truth.
You've been
These
hurt.
are quotes.
Yeah.
Well,
Right?
they
Let's
will
not-
probably
That's
prefer.
Yeah, and I think a man should be a provider. I'm not saying he should, but I
Yeah.
think it's transactional.
You should choose wisely on
But
who you date.
transactional is so harsh, though. Y'all acting like it's a
Don't date
escort
everybody.
service or
Yeah,
something.
but when you listen to the
Like,
city
well,
girls,
so-
everything is
But,
transactional.
now
I feel
you're
like,
different, but I understand that. But then now you're talking about different age groups now,
Mhm.
because the ones that's in the early 20s
The
and
hot
stuff like
girls.
they're listening to that.
Well,
I'm 40. I'm not listening to
but you're a
that.
classy 40.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
there are some.
You
There
got-
are some hot.
You're 40 and still single, right? Or at least you said childless. So you're not really any better. You're not really proving any kind of point.
Girls that are big girls.
There are.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be
There
hot
are.
girls.
That's
There
true.
are.
But then for me too, I was married for 10 years as well too. So I understand that it takes effort to build a relationship, right? And it takes effort to keep a relationship as well.
Mhm.
And sometimes you do have to give that compounded interest in order for a relationship to work. And she gets what she wants, you get what you want. But to say that it's a transaction,
Right? I think that's
I'll say it's a milestone for me. I'll say milestone.
But if somebody
Milestone.
like the difference, morals and values.
Mhm.
Like if someone doesn't have morals, like it's going to be transactional, and they're going to open their legs up to anybody that comes around.
Mhm.
Like, would it be a milestone for somebody who has morals and values? Absolutely. Like if it's like they've been dating for like a year, 6 months, I'm not putting a time on it, and then it just happens organically, then they may consider that a milestone.
Mhm.
If it's a prostitute, we're keeping it real, right? That's going to be a transaction.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's their job. So I think it just depends on if the person has morals.
Yeah. And to your point, when it comes to morals and values, so like someone's a Christian, like I'm super religious, I'm waiting for marriage,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And it's like for those who are like re-waiting as well,
Mhm.
right? There are plenty of people that are re-waiting.
Yeah. Are you a virgin waiting for marriage? Doubtful.
People who aren't even religious, who have morals and values, are
Yeah.
waiting too
Mhm.
because of what they've seen, because they've given their all to somebody. When you're having sex with someone, you are giving them access to like all of you.
Everything.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's like, and then they break your heart or something crazy happens, and people are like, I'm not going through that again.
Mhm.
I gave you everything and you did this to me. I'm going to wait for the next person. And that
That's
next
true.
person, no matter who they are, they're going to respect that. And if they don't, they can keep on walking.
Yeah.
And so there is a great movement right now of people who are waiting. But
Yeah.
to your point.
It's a date though. Like, can we change transaction? Like,
Right.
it's all a date.
Right. See what happens?
Let me say this. I'm in my early 30s. It's been I feel like from my perspective, it's been very transactional. And
Dang.
that's all you hear about is transactions.
Wow.
You know,
Oh my
let's
gosh.
call it a thing. All
Yeah.
you hear about is transactions.
It's really
But-
sad.
And it's sad. Somebody got to keep it real. On to the next one. Who is bigger? Beyonce or Michael Jackson?
Ooh.
Amen.
Who am I
Well,
talking to? I think that's going on right now.
Yeah.
It happens very often
Yeah.
for men and women, but especially when you're younger and you were just so in love with this person, even though they're treating you bad or you just know the relationship has run its course. Sometimes we just get so comfortable with what we're familiar with,
Mhm.
and you're so afraid of the unknown. This person has become, sadly, in some situations, depending on your attachment style, your life.
Yeah.
Right? You're talking to them every day. You're hanging out with them. You have a schedule. You have a routine with this person, or
Exactly.
you live with this person. And so having to break that can be so hard for some people. But what they don't realize is once you end it, life gets better, and you do get to meet someone or some other people that are better for you and better suited for you.
Absolutely.
But, yeah,
I
it can
think
be
some
hard.
people stay not just because they don't want to be lonely, but because they've put on this facade for so many years to the world that if they leave, they're going to be wrong, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure we all know people that have been in relationships, and you like, that person probably is not for you. And they're like, no, that's my boo. And they get into something, and then they feel like they have to stay in it because they've already painted this picture to the world that my relationship is perfect and my relationship is this. So we got to stay together, and then it ends toxic and bad. I think a lot of people stay more for that reason than to versus being alone.
Me and my
Exactly.
wife have been in we've had seasons in our marriage. We've been married for 27 years. And
Congratulations.
sometimes,
Wow, that's pretty
Oh, thank you,
Congratulations.
brother.
Hey, we're gonna
hold on. Hold on. I did some things, and she should have left me a few times.
Mhm.
She should have. I even left my good government job to do YouTube full time. And she said, when we get home, you play too much. You don't think about stuff. I'm leaving. I'm going to stay such and such. I said, no, we're married. This is for life. This blood in, blood out. She thought I was bullshitting. It's blood in, blood out. But I'm bringing that up to say this. Sometimes we have been in our marriage and thinking that we need each other in order to survive, whether we're happy or not.
Mhm.
But what we fail to realize is not about being happy or pussy or nothing like that. It's about, what is it all about? The marriage is about raising up a family, building up a nation, starting
100%.
your own legacy. And it's way bigger than people are giving credence to. So when it comes to, staying in a situation longer than you have to, it might be something bigger than you want to give, I don't know. I lost my train of thought like my man earlier today. I try to weave like Trump, but
It's more about, this is the thing where a lot of people neglected it. marriage is about duty. It really is. Marriage is about duty, responsibility. If you could have happiness, great. But marriage is about that. It's about creating the next generation. That's it. It's about creating generations. But it's also about creating generations in a more stable environment. Okay, you can create generations being in a non-marriage environment. Yes, but usually that creates an unstable environment where people could leave whenever they want, right? Marriage is hopefully, yes, it's a contract to it's another barrier, right? To push you, to not let you leave, or not make it easy for you to leave. So again, it's just a barrier. It's about responsibility. That's it. Okay. It's just a barrier to push you to make this responsible choice, to stay together, focus on your kids, focus on raising the next productive adults. That's it.
Leave, I don't come back. But yeah.
You can bring it back.
So I've stayed in a relationship.
See,
I've never admitted this publicly until now, but I'm an empath, so I feel people's energy, and I was fascinated with the thought of being her piece. And I knew that we weren't equally yoked. We argued all the time. She's probably going to see this at some point. But like, it was forced. And you said something earlier, and I thought about the relationship. Like afterwards, like everything just changed. Like I found internal peace instead of trying to be someone's peace. And like anyone who watches this, like not marriage is different. I haven't been married yet, so I can't say just leave. But he said that there's highs and lows to marriage, so take that to thought. But if you're in a dating ship or a situation, like think about, is this mentally beneficial to you? Think about like, is this really gonna last for the long run? Because I can imagine if I would have stuck around, I would have been miserable. And that's important to be mentally sane. Like you gotta show up for yourself, like more than you show up for other people. Like in a plane, like we gotta take care of ourselves. We gotta put our own like oxygen mask on before we put other people's oxygen mask on. So that's smart.
Absolutely.
So being in a marriage and getting a divorce, obviously I was in a relationship that should have been cut off sooner. But I would honestly say that being in that marriage, I wouldn't say that it was forceful. I would say that it took its course. Like it gave me what I needed at that time, and we're friends to this day. We didn't have kids or anything like that, so we both knew like, hey, this isn't for us. Let's go ahead and move on, and we're friends to this day. I'll say all that to say that the reason why some people stay in relationships is because it's giving some sort of something that you need, whether that's safety, whether that's peace, like you said, it's giving something, and you don't want to let that something go. And for me, that was the safety part of it, So I feel like that. I mean, it's some things that in a relationship that they just give you that you just don't want to let go. But once you let it go, then it's like, yeah, I got more out here for myself.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Or what if, remember he said in his marriage it had highs and lows. What if you're leaving just during that low? And you didn't get to stick around to the high.
But
I mean, if you said you were friends, you're still friends to this day.
Yeah, but the thing is ours was a little different because we had a business together. And so when you have a business together, you have to know how to do the balance the two. And sometimes you find out that you lose that love for that person because you're invested into the business. So the business came home with us. The business was there with us 24 hours. So that love and connection that we had started separating, and that's where the connection got lost. So we had the lows, we had the highs, but when we had that low, we understood like, okay, now it's time to let go. So, and again, we're still friends to this day. And, I'm happy.
Which is, I find it stupid. I really find it stupid, okay? Where women, how can this man who you were married to, who you were in a relationship with, wasn't good enough to be in a relationship with, but they're good enough to be in a friendship with? What was the values? What was the personality? What was it that really made it like, oh, I didn't want to be with them? Bringing the work home? So you don't bring the work home when you're friends? What? You're still partners, right? You're still business. This is a problem where I always find that, in my honest opinion, personally, I find that idiotic. Where if you believe this person is good enough to be a friend, but they're not good enough to be a partner. Why? What about them? Right? What about them just wasn't good enough? That's the thing where I sometimes I find, and yes, maybe you say that I'm not attracted to a person. Okay, I get it. But in the situation where, let's say, where one person was still attracted to you, right? You should not be friends with them. So like let's say in this situation where she was with him, a relationship, a marriage. Why are you still being friendships? Okay? Obviously, it wasn't good enough to form a relationship of any kind, right? It wasn't good enough for that. And then you dissolved it and you still stick with each other. You're still friendly to each other. You're still friends. I mean, I don't know, right? I don't know because people have such a loose framework of friendship. So it's hard for me to decide, oh, you guys talking to each other often, you guys hanging out. I mean, so that's why I'm saying like, I'm just saying in general where a lot of women where let's say the friend zone shit, right? The friend zone thing. Because again, she's using I don't know if she's using a loose framework of friendship or what. But friend zone thing where women know that this man wants you. He wanted to be with you. You don't want to be with him. Okay, cool, fine. But you still think he's good enough to be your friend. While this man still wants you. So you put him in the friend zone. Even though you think he's not good enough to be in a relationship with, you think he's good enough, right? His personality is amazing, right? Hanging out with him is so fun. It's so amazing to talk to him. It's whatever, right? It's so great to have him as a friend. But you don't want him as a partner. I think that's insane. Where you should not want him at all then. You shouldn't want friendship with him at all. That's my thing. Where I just think that it's I don't know if I'll say weird, but I think it's not a good thing in my opinion. I find that I don't know if I call it weird. I'm trying to think of another word, but it's just I don't think that's how you go about it.
For him, he's married, he has a child, and I can wish him nothing but the best.
That's what's up. Okay, so next question, right?
Well, I mean that's it for now. I mean, if you guys want to check them out, you can check them out. It's the Realish podcast. Right? I saved them just to check it out, see if what's their pod is, if it's good or not. It's okay. It's not bad. It's okay. What do you guys think?